Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to be introducing and talking about Znode's Commerce Connector and the latest feature release for Znode. Before we jump in, we're going to start with some introductions. Ethan, I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Ethan Kaler, Senior Product Manager for Znode.
And hello, everyone. My name is Tom Fleury. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Znode. So our agenda for today, obviously, we're going to start off talking a little bit about Znode and integrations in the B2B space. From there, we're going to actually get deeper into what the Commerce Connector is, how it works, and some of the benefits of it. That'll be followed by a brief demonstration, and then we'll follow up with what's coming next. So most of you on this webinar already are familiar with Znode. Our goal, our mission is to create the most flexible, scalable B2B e-commerce platform. And when we talk about B2B, one of the biggest opportunities for manufacturers and distributors is integrations. And so when we talk about the Commerce Connector, flawless orchestration, in our opinion, is the key to B2B success because manufacturers and distributors have so many different systems that they have to integrate with. Clearly, the ERP is the heart of every manufacturer and distributor. Sometimes it's multiple ERPs, but there's other systems too, PIMS, DAMs, CRM. So we're not just going to talk about the ERP, we're going to talk about all of these systems and how bringing that data into the e-commerce experience and exposing it creates a better customer experience for the actual end customer or the buyer who's shopping and looking for those products in a B2B setting.
Yeah, and while integration is critical in B2B, it is certainly not easy. Number of challenges here. The combinations of the various third-party systems that are in use by companies today are pretty much endless. B2B is also heavy with customization because there's need to support unique business rules, customer contracts and pricing, and then deep software customization in systems like your ERP. All of those factors mean that managing integrations is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires significant developing and testing resources, and that makes integration complex and time-consuming. And all of those factors usually translates into a major reliance on IT. So that's where Znode's Commerce Connector comes in. The Commerce Connector is Znode's native, easy-to-manage solution for exchanging data between company systems. Our goal with this feature is to make e-commerce integration with Znode easier and more flexible than ever before. With Commerce Connector, all connections are defined using a standard approach, and they're managed in one place by non-technical users on the e-commerce team. One of the goals we like to talk about with Znode is that our intent is to have a product that 80% of your business needs can be met with configuration and only 20% with customization. And Commerce Connector was very much designed with that in mind. With Commerce Connector, many integrations can be configured and require little or no custom development. And for especially complex and unique use cases, Commerce Connector's framework provides the flexibility to customize only the aspects you need. So let's talk about some of the highlights of Commerce Connector. As we mentioned, it's a standard and also scalable framework that defines all e-commerce integrations in one place. That reduces errors, it lowers the cost to integrate your ecosystem. Integrations can be set up to exchange data through standard methods with real-time APIs, secure FTP, and large objects. API calls are supported, and you can also have in real time, and you can also have scheduled connections. And integrations can also be run on demand. Commerce Connector has flexibility to work with any type of data that's in Znode. And so you can use Commerce Connector to connect Znode with your PIM for product data, ERP for orders, marketing automation platform to enrich customer data, and many more. Custom processors are optional low-code extensions that can be built to validate, enhance, or transform data to meet custom requirements. We'll talk about those more in a little bit. All integrations use secure connections and protocols. And with Commerce Connector, all exchanges of data are logged, so it's easy to monitor performance.
So some of the key benefits are reducing cost, speed to market, ease of management, and then finally reduce dependency on IT. And some of the things that we hear often in implementations, and again, we work with partners for implementations, we have our own expert consulting services at Znode, is the highest risk area in most implementations is typically integration. So how do we make that lower risk, reduce the burden on implementation teams, and then at the end of the day, make it much easier to manage with less reliance on IT?
So next, we're going to move on to talk about the design of the Commerce Connector feature. And there's a lot of exciting things to talk about here. The first concept is we're starting here with interfaces. And an interface defines one exchange of data between Znode and a third-party system, such as your ERP. A common use case would be retrieving inventory data from your ERP and bringing that into Znode. The interface then defines what information should be exchanged and exactly how that data is mapped between the source and destination systems. And these interfaces can work in either direction. You can have any number of interfaces in the Commerce Connector. Each one is configured to use appropriate data exchange methods. So one could use real-time API calls, another could use file transfers, and large objects are also supported. Processing rules define a successful exchange and how Znode should respond when an error is encountered, such as a record missing data or a required field containing an unexpected value. An example could be a negative number that comes across for a price or an inventory field. The processing rule can define whether to change that value to a 0, ignore the current record, or cancel the exchange entirely, and that would show up in the logs. Extensions are used to transform data between the source and destination systems. You can use extensions to concatenate fields, format values, perform mathematical operations, provide default values, and meet any other requirements of the destination system. After you define an interface, you can set up scheduling within the Commerce Connector. Schedules run at whatever frequency you need. Each schedule is associated with an interface. And users can also run an interface on demand. And again, all of this can be done by non-technical users. For additional flexibility, Commerce Connector schedules support filters, and you can think of a filter as a way to define a subset of data that should be transmitted through an interface. So for example, a filter may be created to exchange data only for a particular storefront, one customer account, a product category, a particular order status, or other conditions. All of these layers are configured and visible within the Znode admin interface, so that's a single dashboard to orchestrate all your connections. So with that overview, let's put Commerce Connector into action. In this short demo, I will highlight two example integration touchpoints, a product import and a customer export. And we'll show these connections using Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Znode. Today's examples, specifically, we will connect with Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Supply Chain, or FSC, which is an ERP in use today by a number of Znode customers. Starting here in the Znode dashboard, this is the view that greets admin users when they first log into Znode. The Commerce Connector is native to Znode, which makes it easy to manage data exchanges between Znode and third-party systems, which is what we're seeing now. This screen in the admin console shows all of the currently configured data exchanges. For our first example, we'll do a product import. Let's start by taking a look at FSC. Starting with product import, the demo will follow a release product, the Surface Pro, and import that from FSC into the Znode PIM. The chosen product is item number 1000, Surface Pro 128 gigabytes, classified as a subtype product in FSC. In Znode, this maps to a simple product, meaning it has no variants, And this import logic can be completely managed through configuration without custom code. If we return now to Znode's native PIM and search for the Surface Pro, we'll see this does not currently exist in Znode. Returning to the Commerce Connector and switching to the FSC Simple Product Import, at the top, we have the global setup for this exchange. The source configuration, we open that now, defines the FSC endpoint using a GET request to retrieve released products via OAuth 2 credentials. Query parameters filter for the product subtype, include cross-company data, and expand nested product entities to capture details like names, descriptions, and custom attributes. Switching to the destination configuration, the import uses Znode's API gateway. Locale, import type, family list, and template are all set here. Selecting the template autofills the YAML mapper below with the required attributes. And at the bottom is the YAML mapper, which connects source and destination attributes. The keys on the left represent Znode attributes, and the values on the right correspond to FSC data. With correct formatting, nested objects and collections are accessible, allowing complex entity mapping. Back on the data exchanges list, we can see that this exchange is scheduled for on-demand execution, and running it manually confirms successful completion. As we can see here in the logs, show 600 records were successfully processed as a result of this exchange. And returning to the Znode PIM, now that we search for Surface, we can see that this product has been successfully imported into Znode. Next, we'll perform a customer export, demonstrating data being sent from Znode into Dynamics FSC. In Znode, there's a customer record for Thomas Lee, which has been registered. We want to make sure that FSC also has record of this customer. Turning now to the Commerce Connector and the customer export for FSC, we can see that overall the configuration is quite similar, only this time, for the source configuration, we're using Znode's API, and the destination here is set to FSC. Like the previous example, this also uses the YAML mapper to associate fields between Znode and FSC. In the list of data exchanges, we can run this export on demand, and we see that that did run successfully. And returning now to FSC, we can search for customers, and we can see that Thomas Lee, the customer record, has been successfully imported into FSC. This concludes the demo of Znode's Commerce Connector with data exchanges between Microsoft Dynamics 365 FSC and Znode 10. Everything we've covered here is available in Commerce Connector today, but we have big plans to add more. In 2026, we're looking to launch additional out-of-the-box exchanges for third-party systems used in B2B, and we'll invest in ensuring Commerce Connector remains flexible, scalable, and secure to meet the increasing demands for data and e-commerce.
So to wrap up, Znode's Commerce Connector, again, is native orchestration. You don't need third-party software to make this work. Speed to market is one of the biggest benefits, reducing risk and overall implementation, as well as risk and ongoing management. Everything is centralized and logged directly in Znode, can be accessed through the administration console. Again, reducing dependency and reliance on IT. Ethan, let's go through some frequently asked questions. Do you want to go kick this off?
Sure. So the first question that we get is Commerce Connector middleware? And the answer to that is no. It's native to Znode, as we have discussed. So, customers on Znode get to use Commerce Connector. It's built right into the e-commerce platform, but it could connect to middleware, frequently is used to connect to middleware. In some cases, it can replace middleware, depending on where your organization is at and how you want to orchestrate connections. And of course, as you've already seen, it has extensive capabilities just to connect directly to third-party systems such as the ERP.
Yeah, and one of the concepts of middleware is it's its own independent system. This is not independent of Znode, it's native to Znode. However, it does act similar to middleware connector frameworks.
So the next question we hear is this available in version 9 of Znode? Tom?
As of today, this feature is only part of 10. As everybody knows, Znode released version 10, the cloud native version, in 2025, and this release is specific to 10. Well, we do still support 9.
All right, and one more question. Can Commerce Connector integrate with Salesforce, HubSpot, and Dynamics CE?
And the answer is yes. We talked a lot about ERPs, obviously PIM, DAM, CRM. There's so many different systems that matter in B2B e-commerce. So long as the system is modern, meaning it's API first and it's easy to access ways to exchange data, Znode can connect with it.
Excellent.
Any questions on this webinar, any questions on the Commerce Connector, please feel free to reach out. As you can see, Tom Flurrill at amla.io is my email. Amla Commerce is the parent company of Znode. You can also go to znode.com to learn more. And again, thank you everyone for attending.